Hello, hello, hello.
Hi guys, welcome back to Aey and Mel's podcast. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. And yeah, so I think this is our episode.
3 of our
No, is it
podcast.
3?
Yeah.
I think 4. Yeah, it is 4.
Because we did Brazil, Argentina, and then the 1 year recap.
So this is the 4th one.
So this is our podcast where we discuss about our general experiences of where we are currently are. So the memory is pretty fresh, rather than trying to look back on what happened like because when we did the look back, it was so much stories that we haven't told, and so we wanted to be able to share our general experience on the ground, so to speak, while we're still here.
Yeah.
So right now we are in the eternal spring city of Bogota, Colombia,
Yes.
and we're gonna talk about the first category we want to talk about is food overall. What was the different cuisines that we tried, and so
How's the food experience here in Bogota? In general?
What do you think? Maybe you should start. What's your favorite food?
So first, I'm gonna introduce you to my favorite dessert here in Bogota. It's the guanabana. It's from a store called Masasamba, but here they have a lot of stores that do sell guanabana. So they do sell it like this. It looks like a milk tea, but it's not. So it's they have the fruit guanabana here. They call it guanabana. Here in the Philippines, we call it guava. Now there's a bit.
We're already confused. Guyabano.
See, that's what I told you. So in the Philippines, we call it guyabano. Here they call it guanabana.
Yeah.
So it's mostly that fruit, and then you can choose the topping. So they have a lot of choices of toppings there, but we chose the Oreo. What did they call it?
Sorbete. Sorbete.
Oreo Supreme.
Yeah.
So this is what I like.
So there's like you can
and then
try
you can
different.
Put honey and condensed, so they have a lot of toppings and choices. So this is what my favorite.
It's also pretty good without the anything
Oreo.
else.
Anything else, to be honest.
But we just like it more. It just tastes more desserty if there's more extras.
And then we discovered, there's a lot of fruit. Take note, there's a lot of fruits here in Bogota because of where the current location is, because they're on top of
South America, so Latin America in general. Like there's a lot of forests, Amazon forest there.
Yeah, and so we found out this. It's called
Ochuva.
Correct us if we're wrong, but it's so good. I don't know if you can clearly see it. It looks like a cherry tomato, but it's not.
So in English, they call it the golden berries.
The golden berries.
And then they typically sell it with blueberries as well. Sometimes there's a package. It's pretty sweet. So it's our first time trying this. So we learned that you eat it whole like a blueberry as well. So it's pretty sweet and a bit sour. Not too much, but more.
But once you eat it, there's a lot of small seeds inside, but it's pretty normal. It's kind of similar.
So
is it similar to guava? The texture?
No.
Is it not?
I don't think so. The guava is more
is green and more
tangy, like the texture. But this one is more like it's a cherry, small, like a cherry pop, as you said.
Yeah. So we're already discussing about
so many foods that we enjoy in Colombia, and I think based on like our heritage, so we are Filipinos by birth, and so a lot of the food here resonates closely with us. So there's a lot of chicharron. So if you know what chicharron is, it's like pork skin that is boiled. So we don't have it here right now. We try to minimize eating chicharron because it's not really
eat it,
it's not really healthy for you, but it's so good. And then they also have lechona. So again, the pig in the Philippines, lechon is the whole pig getting roasted.
Yeah.
So
for quite a while.
Usually they serve it for special occasions and special events. So here they have stores everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but a lot of the places. So it was eating the guanabana. So the lechona is a staple here because when we see a lot of people just having it as a regular like brunch.
Yeah.
And so lechona is pretty much like the lechon. So they have the pig skin and then they serve it with rice mixed with the pig. So
yeah,
it's pretty good. What else? What else is the?
We forgot because there's a lot of choices here. We also got like chicken, like barbecue chicken with rice, some salad, and then some beans with it, and then plantain. So you'll usually see plantain, I think, and the one is cassava. So you'll see it served most of the time with their meal, and it's like a heavy meal. When we say it's heavy, you get really full.
If you're curious, like we have a separate video of all the
us, like
just
our
the food
adventure here in Bogota.
But they have like small rice on the side, so and then they do like the beans. Beans is also a staple, and then one of our favorite is also the tamales.
Tamales, yes.
Tamales is
tamales
like
for breakfast. It's quite heavy.
Yeah, they do serve it like all throughout the day.
Yeah.
So it's like rice covered in banana leaves with chicken. And then I think you can choose whatever the meat is inside. So,
yeah.
But most of the time it's chicken.
I'm not sure if it's rice. Probably rice because it's smash.
Rice.
Like it's not really rice. It's like a rice smash. It looks like a smashed potato, but it's rice. I think.
Is it the tamales?
Yeah.
I think it was
can't
rice.
remember.
It's rice. Check out the video.
Guys, let us know if it's rice or yeah, it's probably. No, what I'm saying, it's smash. It's like the texture is smash. It's not like full rice that you can.
Oh yeah, it's a bit.
Because it's boiled,
wet rice.
Steamed.
Yeah, it's like wet rice. It's not regular rice.
Regular rice that it's like it's spread out. So I think they steam it and it's wrapped around a banana leaf.
Yeah.
So we also have the same dish in the Philippines, but we don't call it tamales.
What do you call it?
It's different because they cook it differently. They put it sometimes seafood. So we have a different version in the Philippines too. But I don't know if they call it tamales.
I think the main difference is in the Philippines, like in the provinces you would see people eating with their hands when there is like a banana leaf. Here I haven't seen it, but maybe because we're here in Usakwen. So this part that we stayed mostly was in Usakwen. So anything that we talk about is mostly based on our experience and the food around here and all the experiences. And then I guess one thing that I wanted to talk about with the food before we move on is like the coffee. So the coffee here is also, they have a...
Even though it's from Colombia, they're not like roasted here. I think they just like create it, but not roasted in Bogota. So I think there is a saying that don't expect the Colombian coffee to be...
But it is also worldwide known. Colombian coffee
is worldwide known, like the actual coffee.
But for us it's because there is a kind of like a way of they drink it where they put cheese on it. But from what I've experienced, that is kind of like a tourist attraction.
You mean the coffee? No, it's on hot chocolate, not on coffee.
Oh really?
Yeah.
But we had hot chocolate here without the cheese as well.
I think they put it already. That's why it's a bit milky.
Oh, I don't know, because there's if you Google it online, there's an experience here where people they give you the coffee and then the cheese, and then the tourists really enjoy like putting on. It's like a weird experience for them, but as I was saying, like for us,
not coffee. It's probably hot chocolate.
Even when we drank hot chocolate, it wasn't the same. It wasn't like that. It wasn't served like that. So what I'm trying to say is that I think that experience is mostly for tourists, but in the locals, because we've been here more than a month, and we haven't seen. Although a lot of the food there are cheeses there, like the pan de queso. Like there's a lot of food that is mixed with cheese. So I don't know.
I'm so confused with what you're saying. It's not touristy. Locals do eat hot chocolate with cheese here. That's their normal staple here.
Yeah,
that's their breakfast.
I'm saying like when we go to the cafes, we don't explicitly see the cheese outside the coffee.
Yeah, maybe because they already put it.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to say.
But not on coffee, because our audience will be confused. Like,
because when we did the Vietnamese coffee, there is so don't put it out like because in Vietnam there is a thing called salt coffee where it is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they put the salt in the coffee, so it sounds
weird,
but once you try it,
yeah,
it's hard to explain when you're.
Yeah, just experience it once you're here.
But it's something to check out when you're basically here. So I guess like moving on from the food, let's talk about like the city in general. And you notice that I'm wearing like a jacket and April's not, but there are like winter.
It's pretty thick, and this is just one layer of our bed sheets. No, I mean what do you call it? What do you call it? Duvet in Australia. But here, it's not really, doesn't really get as cold when you go like have winter in Europe or in Australia.
So if you didn't know, like us, Colombia is actually known as the eternal spring.
Yeah, they say spring or fall.
But for us, it feels like fall because it's a bit gloomy. Right now and it's but throughout the year, even if you Google like what's the average weather in Colombia, Bogota, the average temperature is usually like 10 degrees constantly throughout the year, like 10 to 14. So it never is too hot or too cold. Throughout the year. So the weather, like if you see, I don't know if you can see the background or this is the general vibes. Like even if in our videos you would see it's a bit gloomy, it's a bit cold. So throughout the year, that is the weather. But because we didn't go to Cartagena or Medellin. They say the weather is different as well. Like it's more sunny now or it's cold, but we haven't experienced. But for us in Usaquén, Bogota, it has been constantly like this. So sometimes it would rain, sometimes it's a bit cold, but it's a nice general weather, I would say. Like do you enjoy the weather here or?
Yeah, I'd say. It's just that when it suddenly rains, prepare to run. So make sure you have your umbrella with you. And how I wish I could show you the view right now. But if you've watched our video, I've been showing the view of our current apartment, which is literally our window is in front of the mountains.
Yeah.
So this Usaquén, Bogota in general is surrounded with mountains. That's why there is a high altitude thing.
Well, speaking of, like there is such thing as altitude sickness here. So it was our experience as well when we first arrived here. We were just walking down the street and we were like running out of breath.
As if you're running. This is just our normal walk. And we're talking. I was like, how am I just like running out of breath? They're like, this is not elevated. Or like our road is literally flat. It's not like in Europe, you're like, road is elevated. Here it's
just
flat,
normal,
but your breath is like catching up with you.
And that you could really feel it in the first month. So first week. So the first week that we were here, we could really tell that it was we would find it a bit difficult to breathe because, as April said, it is surrounded by the mountains, but the view is
on high altitude as well.
Is a different. It feels like. If I were to describe it, if you had because for me when I was a kid, I didn't have this notion of what Colombia, Bogota would look like. But if I was gonna explain it to someone who's never been here, it feels like it's a bit London because of all the bricks, how the buildings are structured. Put it in like the suburban, like the residential London, not the towers and the tourist attraction, but the residential area of London, and then you put it in the middle of New Zealand because it's literally surrounded by mountains, so you can see the mountain range across the view. So that's how it felt like when we arrived here. And then the weather is kind of like Sydney, where it's a bit cool and
Sydney, I guess fall or spring. It can get to be a fall when this is the weather. It's like rainy weather. It can be a spring if it's sunny and it's cold.
So for us, it's eternal fall.
And with that, take note. Make sure you have your sunblock with you because it's tricky. Even if it's cold, the sun is literally in your face.
Because you're on top of the mountains, so the sun is technically nearer to you. So it's easy to not notice that you're getting sunburned because it is so cool. So the weather is so nice. And then next thing you know, you're sunburned. That's we've seen a couple of tourist
people that are like, got tan. we even notice because our skin like us Filipinos, we can get really really colored, like we go brown that quick. But we've noticed that. I was like, we're not on the beach, but we're like getting dark here. So yeah.
So if you're looking to get a nice tan, then maybe Bogota is a destination for you.
And what's next? Oh, about my haircut. Guys, have you noticed? If you've been watching, my hair is not like this. I get a quick trim, because it's still long. I just got a quick cut here. So I got like my bangs, and then Mel got his haircut. I don't know if you've noticed it because it's tied up, but
so it's, I guess like what we wanted to share is, it's more for us. When we come to a city, it's more what is the intention for you to stay in that city. And so if you would think about it, or if you look it up, Bogota is not really the most touristy attraction. Like there's not much touristy places to go. There are some, like there's an old town, but for us it was more doing, like if you check out our other videos, like we did a medical tour showing you how we actually like found the dentist. So not being able to speak Spanish, like how, because we've been traveling full time for more than a year. So if you're new to this channel, we are traveling around the world full time. So it's more, we want to share how do you live globally, like the normal things that you actually do. And so we've been going around, and so it was at that point in time we were like, we need to figure out like where would we go to dentists, like our usual routines and checkups. And so
it happens so that we're here in Bogota, and the service here is actually pretty nice.
Exactly. So you can actually compare. So there are medical tourisms where they compare Thailand and Bogota, like which ones is better. So based on our experience, like you can see what we went through. And so, and I think that's why April was saying like her haircut. So there's also we did put like clips of it. So it was how was your experience in general?
I think it's because it started with Mel's teeth that he experienced a bit of pain, and then he's like, oh, what's happening? So we decided to check out if it's possible to get his dental here. And then from getting that service, because we literally like their service here, then we considered having a haircut. Because it's possible, because you can see like there's people having a salon just nearby us. Why don't you get it, right? So those kind of things, that's why we came up to just do this, because it's been a year. So I was like, why not? So it's like,
and time
it's really
flew so
accessible.
fast. Like we didn't realize like we've been traveling full time. So it was just like right on time, and then we're already here because we were just in Brazil. So we were doing like a South America tour. And then we were in Argentina, and then we were like, oh, right now we're in Bogota, and then it was
Usapuen specifically, and there's a lot of like services like that. What Mel says, there's dental, even checkups on where he got the both of us got the dental cleaning service, and then there's also salon, so which is accessible. Right. So
and it's relatively like, this is obviously relative to whoever is watching, but we checked out like the prices of how much it would cost compared to the US. Like if you're getting a dental checkup or whatever done, the percentage is it would only cost you maybe 10 to 20%. So depending on how much, or 30%. But we wanted to show that it's really accessible, as you say. Like people are very friendly, and there are, so I don't want to go too deep into this one, but there are ways for you to find. There is a building, like a medical building of different clinics, and
if you watch our video, I think we showed it as well.
So if you're curious how we found it, so because we are trying to learn Spanish, but we're not as fluent. So if you're trying to find that specific service and where it is, check out our other video. But for us, it was a nice surprise. It was
and they're
very nice. They're very, because we were.
If you don't even speak Spanish, actually, the doctor can speak English, which is nice.
Exactly.
But
and they're very honest as well. So they're not gonna pretend that, because maybe when I was a kid, or maybe in the Philippines, or maybe it was just my dentist, or or maybe before, because I was always a bit anxious, like, oh, are they gonna pretend that there's a lot of things wrong with your teeth or your selves, so
Or
that they
maybe
can
there's
take advantage,
miscommunication or
yeah,
something.
because you are a foreigner. So that was an initial fear of mine. I don't know if that is because that's what you want to know, because when you're in a
Because you're in an unknown path.
exactly,
It's just pretty normal to be.
so you're in a foreigner in a
Yeah.
foreign country with not speaking the native language, and so there was some stigma there that is like, is it gonna be safe? Is it gonna be affordable and things like that? So again, I don't want to get involved. But another thing is that we also did our, so it just so happens that our laptop was also broken.
It's broken even from Brazil. So we're considering, should we throw it, because we've been carrying it for quite a while. And it's so annoying because it's heavy. It's a heavy laptop that we've been bringing for quite a while. It's broken. So since we're here, we decided to check what if there's a laptop repair service here as well.
Exactly.
And then we found a good one as well.
Yeah, and it was again like the trust. They were very
yeah.
smooth. He was English speaking as well. We
He's
left
a good
engineer.
He's a good guy, yeah. He's an engineer.
He also invited us to his home.
He literally let us in. So we're like, oh, where's the shop? So I think his physical shop is his home.
Yeah.
So you won't really feel like unsafe or anything because he's letting you inside his home.
Well, it could be, you could kind of feel unsafe as well because you're going to
probably someone else's experience, but for us it's really inviting and stuff. And yeah, you can see and because we checked the reviews from that service.
So if you're for some reason you're interested as well, like send us a message and then we'll let you know where if that's something that
comment down below about
exactly.
anything. If you're interested in any services that we've got, we'll show you, share it with you. And well, about the similarity, because we forgot to tell them why Colombia and Philippines are similar because of the Spanish. We got colonized by Spanish people. That's why we have a lot of similarities with food, tradition, even churches.
Yeah.
There's a lot of churches here, Catholic churches.
Very strong Catholic.
Definitely. Family.
Nature.
Family.
Values.
Time,
family
time.
values. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then obviously if there's occasion, you can hear it. Literally hear it.
Yeah.
There's
what do you mean?
Everywhere. No, I mean if there's like Christmas, like in the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So don't be surprised if you're in Bogota and there's like a celebration and you'll be like, oh, it's already 2 a.m. Why is everyone singing? See, we've
like
heard
karaoke.
People playing music late at night.
So if you haven't noticed or if you didn't pick up on our videos, we are here in Colombia during the holiday season. So a lot of the events are happening. So we're not exactly sure if it's because of the holidays or if it's Colombian nature.
It's like Philippines.
Because we are basing it on our culture, because in the Philippines, the Christmas is very lively. You can hear family gatherings. There's parties. Fireworks. So there's fireworks random. Fireworks in the middle of the night.
Yeah, everywhere.
And then the music, so
happening everywhere.
Even at morning, so it's not too intrusive. It's not too loud.
It's not, but because you're in Usaquén, which is specifically
very
Usaquén,
quiet. It's very quiet.
This area, guys, in Usaquén, Bogota, is very quiet and mostly safe.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
It's like. Yeah, you can probably experience a few people, especially on the main city, that will approach you and try to sell you something, but they're not going to be pushy.
Especially if you're, say, for example, if you're eating on eating on an open restaurant,
main highway,
and you're in the main road, and you're in, like, say, in the outer edge, so people would just come up with you, but they're not too aggressive. Like, just in general, people peddling stuff, asking like, oh, do you want to buy this?
Once you say no,
you just say no, gracias, or. Yeah, but in general, people are pretty safe in this area. So we don't want to speak for the whole country because we didn't go to the whole country. But
and we're currently just staying in Bogota, so we can only speak for that based on our experience.
And there's also and what we know is there's a LGBTQ community
very strong LGBTQ community
So
here in
we did there was like a random festival that we
we walked past it.
They were singing and dancing.
Yeah, because I think that's where the time we're eating tamales.
Yeah.
And there's actually an event where they're having a model walking here in that specific shopping center. And then on the other road, there's an event going on. So we're like, we check it out, and there's an actual event of LGBTQ.
So that's pretty. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like, if you are curious how it feels like, if you've been to the Philippines, it's similar, but it's very unique compared to, say, Brazil or Argentina. So to us, it feels a lot closer to home because it's how we grew up with. So the food, the culture, the Christmas vibes. And so that was, and obviously your mileage may vary because of how we were brought up and obviously where you're from. But for us, it was, in general, very homey, very comfortable, we're used to the hustle and bustle, the karaoke's, the fireworks. So it didn't like put us off, because if you're,
because we're from the Philippines, it's pretty normal to have a loud environment, even at early morning. But because we also migrated to Australia for quite a long time, and Australia is pretty quiet, so there's a lot of changes once you've been to that. So I guess it depends on where you're coming from and what's your intention in visiting a country as well.
And before we move on from, I guess, like the city and the culture, because we did discuss the culture, so it's a lot like Philippines but just cooler. So in the Philippines it's really hot. Here it's the weather is, so that's the main thing I would say.
I don't know why, but how long have we been gone in the Philippines since we migrated? Is it 13 years?
I don't know.
Or less? But I'd say this place specifically is pretty livable. How do I say that? But like, we forgot about the traffic. That's why it's like Manila.
Traffic is like Manila. So that's why to us it's normal.
Yeah.
But if you Google it, Colombia is one of the worst
traffic on weekends,
in the world, I think. Especially in the weekends. But again, that for us it's
normal. Because we're born and raised in that type of culture.
Really think about, but at some point even like the normal streets were like pretty filled when it's during the weekend. So
and the shopping center as well.
Shopping center. Wait, I wanted to go through the I wanted to mention the water rationing first.
Oh yeah, the water rationing.
So there is something that I don't know if this is unique to Usaquén, Bogota, but there is a lot of, and not a lot, but every month or once a month
rationing date.
There's a rationing day. Maybe it's specific to the places where
Bogota,
we stayed.
I think. Guys, let us know if it's specific in Bogota or is it happening in Colombia.
Once a month they ration the water, so you don't get water throughout the day essentially. But and also I guess like on the city side, like comparing it to the Philippines, there is a lot of malls, as April said. So there's a lot of traffic going to the malls as well. And so a lot of the people like here to hang out. And so if you're coming to Bogota, I think one of the main tourist spots here, if you're staying long, is the mall. So just in the area of Usaquén, I think there's like around 5 to 7 malls. Different vibes altogether, different food, different
also stores. Reminds us of the Philippines. Filipino love to hang out in shopping center because it's cold.
But here it's cold in general.
It's cold. Here it's cold. You don't need to really go in the shopping center.
But they still like going to the mall. And there's also one thing I guess like the city in itself is a very unique thing, but there's also no air conditioning here, just kind of like in Europe, because it is cold. So
there's no fan, there's no air conditioning. That's why your window is open, which is most of the time you'll hear the sound from the outdoor, which sometimes people do get disturbed while they're sleeping. So make sure to have your what do you call it? Earplugs with you if you're sensitive.
Because then if people are celebrating and then you have your windows open because there is no air conditioning, so you kind of
definitely hear the sound from the outside or even your neighbor. So if you're sensitive to noise, just to let you know, make sure you have your earplugs with you.
And I think that's pretty much, I guess, like
the transportation.
So
we didn't really do do they have I think they have bus. We've seen a few bus, but we didn't really actually
So
try.
in the area that we were staying was surprisingly walkable. Like Usakwen in general for us was very walkable. So there we even walked back and forth to the mall. So that's
there's
why
a 30-minute walk.
we didn't do much. We didn't do and it was generally pretty safe. So we would walk in the morning. So obviously we didn't walk at night. So that's why.
We don't even want to risk it. So most of the time they say it's safe, but it's still you can't really tell what's gonna happen if it's late, right?
Yeah, it's normal for anywhere
and we're not
around
from here, so just to be safe.
Yeah, so that's our experience.
Even in other countries, we don't really go out
late night. Unless it's like
there's an occasion, like you do want to have a dinner, but it's pretty rare.
Depends on the location, but for us here, we didn't really go out too much at night. And so just so everyone knows, or for people who are still watching, there is a alternative to Uber. So Uber is not permitted here. Uber in itself, so ride sharing is not widely accepted because there was some complications with local cabs. So what Uber did was they spin up like a subsidiary called Uber which is the same as Uber, and then you still book it through.
How do you spell it? Is YA.
Yeah.
So if you search for it, it's Uber.
But you still book it through Uber app.
Yeah, but they just call it Uber here.
The main difference is in the technicality. So ride sharing per se is not legal, but how Uber works around it is when you actually book the car, you're actually renting the car, and the driver
in
that specific period in time, whereas it's technically or legally it's not ride sharing. So that's why Uber is the alternative. It's a minor this difference, but what it entails is that, so when we were researching about this, when we were from the airport, it was encouraged for us to sit in the front. So
with the driver.
When the Uber was going around, it wasn't as obvious as a ride sharing app. So it's
just a way of riding that Uber.
So it's a minor discrepancy, but a lot of the people here we saw ride the
a lot of people
cabs,
using it. I've also seen people using a motorbike. I'm just not sure. It's like Grab in Vietnam.
But we haven't
I've
tried
been
it.
seeing people riding on their motorbike
behind
them.
Like
so I was
in Thailand, kind of like
is
in
it like
Thailand?
Grab? A Grab, like a motor Grab or something.
Or
if you're on your
Gojek
own,
in Indonesia.
Or Gojek in Indonesia if you're on your own. So
So for us again, we were just walking around, so it was all fine.
And they also have a lot of food service here being delivered. We didn't try it as well because we love to cook at home.
And we love to walk as well.
And there's a lot of food that is just very good, which is walkable, like 5-10 minutes from our Airbnb.
I guess like generally in safety, like how would you summarize the safety and
the food and everything?
Maybe just safety and then everything, because maybe as a if people are like curious, is it safe to stay, or what's
Am I the right person to ask?
Why?
I don't know, because it's not really in the country, but it's just my own, my own build. I'm built like this. How do I say it? It's just like no matter where I am, even if it's safe or not, I have this thing that I still need to have my guard with me.
I guess like it still falls to like using your common sense on just being streetwise, like how if it feels dodgy, it's probably dodgy kind of thing, but in general I would say
it's very
pretty
livable.
Safe, very livable in general. Like we didn't have any bad experiences in general, and aside from like the noise, which is I don't know if you can hear it now.
There's an actual is that a warning or what? I've been hearing that sound before. I don't know what that one is.
I don't know,
guys. I don't know if you can actually hear it, but
But that's it. That's pretty much it, and more like the language that because we are as you said, like
we're learning Spanish,
so
and I think this is the best place because in Argentina, it's not really similar. The Spanish there is different. So here, the Spanish that we're currently studying is quite similar, so we can really catch up with the locals.
Yeah. So it's good to know like the as per usual, like learning the common phrases, like "Cómo estás?" "Buenas tardes." You know how like saying hi, hello, how are you, like the good mornings, and then how you would order, what the foods
In
are,
the grocery,
how
how to get the bag. It's called bulsa here.
and then you pay for using tarjeta, using your card.
Yeah.
Things like that. It goes a long way.
Goes a long way, yeah.
And then yes,
Saying
Feliz Navidad.
muy bien, Feliz Navidad. Yeah. Pretty much just like the food and we're currently at. Like you can hear it. It's pretty quiet right now, right? Because sometimes you can't really control the people that are loud. There's a few people that will be loud, like really loud playing sounds.
Yeah, but it's not the normal. It's not. Maybe again, like we haven't stayed in Cartagena,
in the other parts of
which is
Bogota.
more like a party place.
Yeah.
So if
it's
you're
probably different there.
If your intention is to be more like chill and just live, just live, being in like a livable city, like in the middle of the mountains where it's pretty cold. So depending on what you do in life, and it's like a place for you to stay and whatever your intentions are. So I think it's in general, it's pretty good. Like for us, would you like? I guess like what I usually do is like ask like, would you wanna come back to Colombia?
Yeah, definitely, because. The same with the other countries, we didn't really explore that much, right? It's pretty. Colombia has a lot of nicest part of places as well. So maybe once we come back, let's explore the beach area because we've been to the beach area because this is how our cycle is, right? So once we're done with the beach area, we'll try to explore the city so we have a balance of not getting too how do I say it? Getting bored or used to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes when you stay too long in a place, it'll be like, it's just normal, you know. So we like to have a balance of everything. So, I'd say this city. Yeah. I don't know if this is actual city, but because we only can compare because we're only in Usaquén. This is where like I can say that I can see myself living. You know what I mean? It's just like you're not in
South America. Or, really?
Yeah, because in Sao Paulo it's different. Know when you go out, I guess it depends.
Depends if it's a city.
Here, when I go out here, there's no like fear of do I need to be like do I need
Sao
to
Paulo
hold,
is
like,
different.
Yeah,
like it hits different. Like
yeah, you know when I say this is probably because we have a comparison in the Philippines. This is probably Ayala Alabang. It's like an expensive village, and then Sao Paulo will be Manila.
Yeah. That's true.
So that's how
but if
I
for us,
them.
like if we're comparing it to Brazil,
it's so big.
If we want to stay in the beach, it would be more Brazil.
Yeah,
obviously.
Brazil. Yeah.
But
we haven't been to the beach of Colombia as well, so
what Eva has been comparing is like the city of Sao Paulo versus Bogota.
The city here,
like
which
just
is the
city living.
Yeah.
I think you're right because the weather is nice. Yeah. Sao Paulo is pretty intense.
Yeah, and maybe because it's an office place, because we're literally in the middle of where the busy thing is, where there's a lot of things going on.
A lot of the people who's been staying tuned, they're letting us know that there's nice places in Sao Paulo.
Yeah, we haven't really explored it. Yeah,
but we weren't able to explore as much. So I think we stayed mostly in Paulista, but. Yeah, I guess like it's pretty livable here in this.
What's your favorite part of staying here in Bogota?
My favorite part would be eating a lot of food and then just the dogs in general. So
I forgot about the dogs.
Surprisingly, it was a dog city. There's so many
endless.
Cute dogs and
they do bark too. It's in Australia, dogs are pretty quiet, right? Here, they're pretty loud, but they're pretty cute. So we can really compare. I
felt like we were in Mexico City.
Is it loud too? No, the dogs are pretty quiet.
I don't know.
You didn't really you didn't recognize it? Yeah.
But that was my favorite part, and just the weather in general. How about you? What's your...
The food.
The food too, yeah.
Especially...
This is a foodie's paradise.
Of course we're from the Philippines. They have a plantain here, a specific banana that you can cook. So because my mom used to sell it, is that we have a food business. she used to cook it fried and then combined with brown sugar with it. Oh, the banana is actually there. Should we show it real quick? So they have a specific. It's huge.
People always grab by.
Guys, don't be put off by the color of this. This is the perfect ripeness of. No, this is. I miss this so much because we also have this in the Philippines, but this one is huge.
So they cook it with brown sugar, and then...
So my mom used to cook this with oil, and then she's gonna top it with brown sugar, and that's my favorite snack when I was growing up, and then with coffee.
Yeah.
So yeah, I missed it, and now that I was able to do it here, and yeah, Mel was able to try it. It's like a home away from home type of feeling, because I can't really do it here because Colombia and Philippines has a similar food.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now I'm hungry. I guess like that's fitting in.
So I'm gonna do that.
Do that now.
That's why we have the banana.
While we're
and then,
closing off this.
Yeah, because we're gonna finish this. It's not done yet. And then yeah. So I'd say thanks for the lovely food here in Bogota and the weather, which is pretty good for Mal. Mal loves getting cold.
This is why we're
cozy.
Wearing...
And yeah, hope you guys like that podcast of ours about Bogota, Colombia specifically. And yeah, we'll catch you guys again in our next podcast. And yeah, bye everyone.
Bye.